can't remember a point in my life when I didn't want to be an engineer. I'm a very indecisive person, so I'm not sure why there has always been such a conviction for me to be an engineer. I guess there's something fulfilling about knowing how things work. We look at all of modern technology today, computers, cell phones, and it's amazing to marvel at the complexity of what's going on behind the scenes and also how little of an understanding there is from the general population on just how complex things really are. Everyone takes for granted that their cell phone works without really contemplating or thinking about every day how amazing it is that these machines do all the things they can do. So maybe you are fascinated by that aspect of engineering, but you think you don't want to be bored. You don't want to sit behind a drafting table all day. Uh, Engineers today are everywhere in every type of industry and every role. You won't be lacking for a job if you go for engineering. Think of all the famous CEOs as well. The famous ones that come to mind: Jobs, Gates, Branson. All of these glamorous CEOs have at least a background in engineering or some understanding of the products that they've become famous for. So if the weight of the decision on how to spend the rest of your life is weighing heavily on you, keep in mind that choosing engineering as your career path will take you on a unique path that is all your own. Personally, I was never the best student in high school, and there were times in my college career that I wasn't sure I would make it. I hated math with a passion, and I would always question the need for it. I'll tell you now, after 10 years as an engineer, I don't use math very often, and I know many engineers who use it even less than me. Knowing, however, that there are complex things going on behind the scenes, that is knowledge that I use every day, and it affects everything I do. As for my indecisiveness, I never did decide on a straightforward path for my education. I went with two engineering disciplines, electrical and mechanical, with a minor in business. I never realized at the time how pursuing business would help me later in my career as I moved into management and with my current pursuit of an MBA. I also tutored heavily in college, and some good reviews that I received from that time caught up with me 10 years later and helped me get my foot in the door to return to the college I graduated at and teach part-time as an adjunct professor. It's amazing to the things at the time when they're happening. You don't always realize how beneficial some things somewhat insignificant can come back and pay dividends later in life. To bring my life together now, I feel that I'm at a point where I'm extremely satisfied. And the story that brings it all together for me was a few years ago, my wife and I had our first child and decided to go with a robot theme for his room. I always wanted a tattoo, but I never really had something that I felt passionate enough about. Well, with where I was in my career, with my education, and tying it into our son, I thought a robot tattoo was a pretty good tattoo to get at the time. And you can see it right there. And I think that is a pretty good symbol of my life up to this point. And with kid number 2 on the way in June, I'm going to have a lot of deep thinking on what that second tattoo is going to be. So, thank you.